favorite tunes. It's called Angelina the Baker. My stepdad, Tracy Best, he plays banjo, and he taught me that song. And so that's something music is a way that we connect, and it brought us closer. And so that was the first song he taught me how to play, so that's my favorite one now. But anyway, my name's Helena Hunt, and I have grown up here. I was born in Salisbury, North Carolina, but we moved here when I was 3 or 4, so lived here my whole life. Live in Johnson City, Tennessee now, but I'm here all the time because I love to come back and visit my parents, and there's still a really good music community here that I like to come back and have old time jams. When I was 8 years old, 7, 8 years old, I kind of decided that I really liked the sound of the banjo. And I guess since we lived here and I grew up here, there is a lot of old time music here, and you hear a lot of banjo and fiddle music, and so I heard a lot of that, and I decided that I love the sound of the banjo. So my grandma bought me a banjo for my 8th birthday, and because of that, I thought, well, I've got a banjo now, I might as well learn how to play it. We found out about the jam program, the Junior Appalachian Musicians here, and got signed up with that program soon after I got my banjo, and Travis Stewart was my banjo teacher, and I did jam for about 2 years, I think, at that time, and I really loved it, and I practiced a lot. I practiced more than I do now, probably. But yeah, I went from that. I did jam for about 2 years, and that's really what got me started, is that program. So I'm glad that was around and still is around. Then after that, I really liked the sound of Earl Scruggs banjo playing. So then I went from jam and started taking lessons from Mitchell Rathbone, who is a local banjo player and police officer, if he still is. I don't know, I gotta catch up with him soon. But anyway, he taught me bluegrass, the 3-finger style banjo. I did that for a couple years, and then I went from there and just kind of started learning stuff myself. And then I kind of got out of music for a while, unfortunately. After I started learning guitar, I wrote some songs here and there, and took a break from music for a while, and then moved out to Johnson City, and there's an old time music scene there too, so I got pushed right back into it. So I was never meant to stay away from it for very long, I don't think. And actually I met at ETSU, they had the Bluegrass Old Time and Country Music program, and I took a few classes in that just for fun, and I ran back into Keegan Lucky Smith because he's from this area. He was born here, and he was in the jam program with me. So it was nice to reconnect with him, and I was in a few bands with him out there, and still hang out with him and his girlfriend Reva a lot. We have old time jams on their front porch, so it's nice that this, the music community I'm used to here in Haywood County, it's like, part of it has shifted over to Johnson City, so wherever place I'm at, I feel like I'm home, so that's really nice. But now I'm actually, it's like the circle has been connected, because I started in jam, and now I am teaching jam here in Haywood County. Travis reached out to me a couple months ago and said they needed a banjo teacher, and I'm here all the time anyway, so I'm teaching that now. So it feels really nice to be passing along the old time music tradition, because it seems like it's dwindling, and I really would like to keep it going. I'd like to be a part of keeping that going and getting younger people interested in it again. So it's nice to be passing that along and teaching alongside Travis, who got me started in the first place. So I'm just, I feel like I'm in a really good place right now. I'm going to actually play a tune now that Travis taught me. This became one of my favorite ones. I know there's a million different versions of all these old time tunes, but this is the version he taught me, and I've since learned the lyrics, or I found some lyrics online. There's, like I said, there's probably 20 different pages with 20 different type versions with different words. Like this word might be different from this version, so I don't really know exactly what version this is, but I do know Travis taught me the banjo part, and so I'll just play this version that I've created from piecing a bunch of different versions together. It's called Darlin' Corey. I just gotta get in tune here. It's typically not played all the way up here, but since I'm singing along with it, I have to do it in a key that I can sing in. As far as people who influenced me, when I was first starting out, I didn't really, I kind of was just, I went straight into learning stuff before I had listened to a lot. I mean, I would hear songs and I would hear banjo playing, and I thought, what is that? I love that. Found out it was banjo. So for the longest time, really, Travis, my teacher, he was my biggest influence for a while. And of course, after that, I heard Earl Scruggs, and I was like, oh, but, you know, I always, for some reason, feel like, not embarrassed, but when people were like, who are your influences? And I go straight to, I guess for clawhammer at the beginning, Travis, and of course Robbie taught there in jam for a while. But I would always say Earl Scruggs, thinking that was a cliche influence to have. But that's that's just how it was at that time for bluegrass anyway, for the three finger style. Now it's only been the past couple of years that I've been branching out and listening to other banjo players, other clawhammer players, other three finger players, and finding out what styles I like, who's playing that I like, and I'm still so. I always felt like I wasn't a true banjo player because I didn't know about other banjo players, but I don't know, maybe that's a silly way to feel, so I've been branching out now. But definitely Travis is a big influence for me as far as clawhammer banjo, and trying to think if there's been anybody else here recently. A lot of my influences are people that I've met and people that I've played with. I know there's a banjo player that I went to ETSU with for a while named Alex Genova. He plays with Fireside Collective, and he's probably one of my favorite three-finger banjo players right now, just because he takes what he's learned and things that people have done in the past and puts his own little twist on it, and I just think that's so neat. But yeah, those would be my Travis and of course Mitchell, who taught me three finger in the first place. Those are my biggest influences. For those of you out there who are wanting to get into it, I know for me personally, if I hadn't grown up here and been surrounded by this type of music and just music in general, my family was very musical, and growing up here there is a lot of traditional old time music. So I definitely think if you're wanting to get into it, you should surround yourself with other people who are doing that. Find out where the jam sessions are happening. And it also helps to find, whatever music you're trying to get into. Find that community online too. I know a lot of people prefer things in person, but there's a pretty big old time community that stays connected virtually. You can. I know on Instagram, for example, there's a banjo. There's a pretty neat banjo community, and they have this page called Banjo Tune of the Week. And all the banjo players in this region, there's even some from out west, they follow this page, and they'll somebody will post a video playing a old banjo or fiddle tune, and they'll tag a bunch of other banjo players and be like, this is the tune of the week, and they'll tag 10 or so banjo players, so then those banjo players will then learn that tune and post a video of them playing it, and it's just a cool little cycle. And so that's another good way to get into the music community, is find the online community that you want to be a part of. And because all the times that I got out of music and took a break for a while, what got me back into it is being around people who were playing music and who were enthusiastic about it. So that's probably my biggest tip that I can give. Another thing I would recommend if you're trying to learn an instrument, or even if you know it and you're trying to stick with it, is set aside a time in your schedule where you shouldn't word it as like, oh, I have to practice. You should want to, but it helps me to set aside a time like, oh, at 3 o'clock today I'm going to practice for 30 minutes or an hour, or however much time I have. If you make it a part of your schedule, it's easier to keep up with. Still, I still have trouble keeping up with it, but like I said before, having other people around me that play music, seeing them be enthusiastic about it and wanting to keep moving forward inspires me to do the same thing. So,
cool.
I'm gonna play a song now that I wrote a few years ago. I co-wrote in Nashville. I guess I sort of, at this point now, I take all the experiences I've had and everything I've learned through the music community and both the in-person and virtual music community, and I sort of try to put it into my own music now. I still play the old-time traditional music, and I still try to pass that along when I can. But it's nice to create songs that are, that mean something to you, and that hopefully other people can relate to. But I wrote this song for my dad because I couldn't find the right words to say, so I wrote a song about it. And now it's kind of, a friend of mine, I'm on the board of Appalachians for Appalachia now, and a girl who was born and raised here, Callie Pruitt, Mark Pruitt's daughter, she's a big advocate for this type of, for old-time traditional music and for Appalachia in general, and she kind of brought it to my attention that this song is a good way to kind of have a conversation about the addiction and the drug problem we have in this region. And I had never really thought of it that way, but anyway, this song's called What's Killing You Is Killing Me. So I'm just gonna get right into it.
Trying to keep you in the sun, so afraid that I would hurt you with the truth. I walk on burning sand to bring you a drop of water, though I know it'll never be enough to quench your thirst, to keep you on this earth, to prove to you that I still need your love. Part of you
I'm so grateful to have gotten to be part of this, the Haywood County Public Library Music Series. I think this is a really cool thing to kind of teach people about the music in this region and the history of it, and help people get into it themselves if they're interested. So thank y'all for letting me be a part of this.